Hi everyone, Suzanne here with a brief meditation and a topic of discussion that I think is helpful when it comes to anything stress related. So I'll tag this in for the stress management class if you're unable to meet us in Zoom in person. So let's start with a brief meditation. And if you can find yourself in a seated position, wherever you're at, have your feet just flat on the floor, and you're seated upright but not too rigid. So there is a uplifting in your spine and in your neck. And let's just take a moment to just anchor back into the breath. So if you're feeling that breath is seated in your collarbone and your shoulders, for a moment, bring your shoulders up to your ears, round them down your back, and then relax your hands in your lap. Let's take a deep inhale. So imagine you're pulling that breath all the way up from your feet. Feel the rise in your chest. Feel that lifting up all the way up into the neck, all the way to the crown of the head. Notice that pause, and then exhale, slowly let it out of your mouth. You can purse your lips and feel everything just kind of coming back down. We'll do that again. Another inhale, filling up. And hold, suspend your breath. And exhale, slowly let it out. Let's try that one more time. Another inhale, pulling that breath up. See if you can sip in just a little bit more air. Strong lungs, don't doubt their capability. And then exhale, slowly let it out. And then just your natural breath rhythm. Breathing in, breathing out. If you need to keep the mouth open, that's perfectly fine. Just relax the jaw. And maybe by now, just for that brief amount of time, under 2 minutes, you can feel a calming sensation in your body. Your energy is maybe come down. And then just sit in that. Sit in that space with no judgment, no expectation. You're just right here, right now, with that breath in your body and feeling the ebb and the flow of that breath. So I call that coming back home, that companion we have with us at every breath is someplace you can always return back to no matter what is going on, and you can reconnect into it, arriving back home. And sometimes that just kind of recalibrates anything you're dealing with, going through, imagining that's happening in your life. It's a constant companion and anchor for you. So to accompany that, a lot of what we talk about, how we describe ourselves, how you show up in the world matters. What story you give about yourself and about your life. When you are in that state, you're giving people permission to see you that way. A lot of times we have something from our past that we still keep that on the loop story that we give. For example, if you were told by maybe a teacher or a parent that you were stupid, or you were, slow in some area, you are fat, you are unattractive. A lot of times we will carry that over, even in a small dosage of, for an example, you are around other people and you make an error, you make a mistake, and you get embarrassed. Let's say it's involving something with misspelling something or doing some math, and you just, I'm that's stupid, I'm stupid, and you apologize for yourself for whatever that is. That is allowing people permission to see you that way. We also do that in means of saying, I'm stressed out, I'm unorganized, I'm always never having time, I'm unhealthy. And it's just how you're showing up in the world. And really, you have to ask yourself, is this how I want to talk about myself? These are thoughts which turn into our wording. And our words are spoken, and then they create our reality. When we change the wording, we change the outcome. Now, this is not sitting in a space of denial. It's not glossing over situations. It is really, a lot of times, just being fully present with what is, but it's not keeping that reel on that tape of believing you are what maybe other people thought you were. It's helpful to have other people hold you accountable to this, because a lot of times we do this and we're really unaware that we can talk in that way. When you find yourself falling back to apologizing yourself for, I'm stupid, or I never get that right, I was never good in this, I could never do this, I'm always stressed, I'm always unorganized. Have compassion for yourself rather than beating yourself up again for that. A lot of times, simple awareness of a pattern is opening of the door to allowing for change to happen. You have to become aware and not ignorant of a certain way of doing. And you're going to go back into that. But the more you become aware, the more that you are aware that you are enough, you are worthy, you get to decide how things affect you in life. And it's changes the outcome. It could be subtle, it could be in synchronicity that you start to see when you change that reel that you've been living on. Really changes the mirror. We see on the outside, people see us in a certain way, and it's what you're representing. If we are aware of the fact that we are empowered and we can view life differently, and you can change your story, the story that you once told, and you have the ability to change that. The power is always within you. What really needs to be honed and sent home is kindness and compassion for you, for whatever the story was. You don't have to find truth in that story any longer. And, the same can go into, you are different than the person you were yesterday and the person you were last year. Your scope of reality in situations could be completely different. On a personal note, I know for a long time I would bring the abuse that I suffered as a child, into kind of a crutch as to why I'm a certain way and why I was insecure and why I felt inadequate, and brought that a lot in of blame. It would blame my upbringing and the abuse that I felt, that I suffered, which was verbal, not so much physical, but that has lasting effects. When I became a parent myself, I took a wider scope of my parents as being parents and knowing more of their upbringing, especially my father, and the abuse he endured and the cycle he was repeating. And I had more compassion. And I started changing my story of my upbringing, of my parents did the best they could. It changed, and it gave a different perspective, and it changed a lot of the dynamics. I wasn't glossing over what happened, but I was accepting that I didn't have to be defined by that story any longer. They did the best they could, as I'm just doing the best I can. So just become aware of that. And when it comes to with stress, there's no denying the stress that we're under and we endure. But the story of what we tell ourselves, doesn't have to necessarily be the reality we live in. Back that a lot with a lot of I am worthy. I am empowered. You are enough. I am enough. And I am doing the best I can. It really can change, even in a small way, to start to bring change into your life. Because the life outside circumstances are not going anywhere. And we're having to remind ourselves we are doing the best we can. And finding that love and compassion for you. My biggest thing is find that anchor, find that breath, reconnect to home. It's always there for you. And the sense of grounding will calm you down. So I'm thankful to share this information with you and to actually share this journey with all of you. I'm sending you kindness and love, and thank you for allowing me to speak and taking the time just to listen to this. So until next time.